Good evening, everyone. My name is Lok Huang, and I'm most happy to be the host for this evening's presentation, which will be conducted by my good friend and business partner. Our speaker this evening is an engineer by training and an adventurer at heart. He had successfully climbed the corporate ladder in a big multinational corporation. Now, despite all these achievements, he had always been interested in entrepreneurship and wanted to set up his own business. When he chanced upon the right business platform, he evaluated it very diligently, and once he made up his mind, there was no stopping him. While he learned the skills and knowledge, he worked together with a group of like-minded partners, including myself, and grew his network not just in Singapore, but in other countries, including Malaysia, Thailand, and Cambodia. Combining this with his corporate experience, he now aspires to lead like-minded professionals on an adventure of health and wellness, and to scale new summits with them, and to share with you on the topic of corporate job versus network marketing. I have the great pleasure of inviting our speaker for this evening, Platinum Director Kid. Kid, please.
Thank you, Lok Huang. Well, it's certainly a great pleasure to have all of you here tonight, this evening with me to share in my little story. And I know it's the eve of a holiday, so I'm really thankful that you have actually squeezed out some time to be with us this evening. And my one wish is all of you have some little nuggets of takeaway this evening. Okay, so let me just share. Let me just start sharing my screen. All right. Okay. Now, for those of you who know me, know that I love to write stories. Okay, and I also love to tell stories. And there is really this one story that is very relevant to all of us in times of great changes like what we have undergone the last 2 years. Okay, now what do you see that? That's a beautiful bridge. Okay, this is one of my favorite bridge in terms of beauty. It's called Choluteca Bridge. It was actually built in the city of Choluteca in Honduras. Now, this area where the bridge was built was really well known for its extreme bad weather. So when the government decided that they wanted to build a new bridge, they engaged a very famous Japanese construction company called Hazama Ando. Now, this company is certainly well known for building the toughest bridge that survived the wildest of hurricane. And guess what? In 1998, Hurricane Mitch hit Honduras. Well, many bridges, roads, and buildings were destroyed. However, Choluteca Bridge remained standing. Well, certainly a wonderful testament to Japanese engineering. However, there was just one problem. Yes, that is Choluteca Bridge. Now, while the bridge stood firm, guess what? The roads on both sides of the bridge had completely vanished. Now, Choluteca River had decided that it would carve its way around the bridge. Now, what had seemed like the state-of-the-art construction simply could not adapt to the new environment and quickly became very useless. Well, literally overnight, the best-in-class bridge became completely of zero value. In fact, it is now called the bridge to nowhere. Now, what is the moral behind this story? Change is unpredictable. And if you don't embrace and adapt to change, you too can become obsolete. In fact, you too can become very quickly of zero value. Now, my question, ladies and gentlemen, are we all well prepared for change? Now, believe me, we have just encountered the hurricane of a lifetime the last 2 years. Well, of course, we seem to have gotten over the worst of it. Well, this hurricane, I guess by now you would guess is called COVID-19. Well, the global business landscape had changed rapidly. And over the last 2 years, a whole new normal had completely unfolded. So, one lesson that I learned and I share with everybody here, do not become a bridge to nowhere. Now, for those who know me, my name is hoeekid. Now, most people just call me Kid. Now, I too had my own Choloteka moment, well, maybe about 15 years ago. Well, I still remember very vividly right until today. That was in year 2007, okay, if I recall correctly. Yes, it was the world financial crisis back then. Well, I learned a lesson that year that stayed with me right until today. Now, you see, I was the typical product of our education system. Well, nothing wrong with that, right? Study hard, get good grades. Well, get a good job with a good degree that you have, work hard, and you'll be recognized and you'll get promoted. And guess what? You work till you retire. Now, my mentality back then was, well, as long as I work hard and the company was doing well, all will be fine. Well, 2007 certainly proved me wrong. Well, I learned that when change comes, it does not really care how well your company is doing. Well, it does not even care how talented, how experienced, or how skilled you are. Sooth, the change will just sweep in like a mighty hurricane, well, just destroying everything that is not fitting to the new environment that it has just created. Now, I was lucky. I was lucky to survive that hurricane with my job still intact. Well, but many of my friends and colleagues did not. And what I learned was that it's not because they are not capable, but simply because they did not fit into the new environment that was created. Well, in fact, they have a term for it, it's called collateral damage, okay? Yeah, so although I was lucky to keep my job, I learned a very deep lesson that year. When change comes, it comes suddenly. Now, no one is invulnerable. You may think that you are so valuable that it makes you indispensable. Well, my friends, changes like what the last 2 years, what COVID-19 had brought about, can make us irrelevant overnight, just like that. But back then was interesting because I knew that, I had to do something different. I knew I had to prepare myself. And because I was such a voracious reader, well, I started reading many self-help books. I also attended many courses. Well, I was fortunate. I found a mentor named Robert. Now, for those of you who recognize Robert down there, well, Robert is the author of the bestseller book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And the most important concept that I took away from Robert was this interesting theory of his called the cash flow quadrant. Well, my first aha moment really came about when I finally understood the significance of the cash flow quadrant. Well, I realized that for the 20 over years, that when I was working for corporate, well, I was smack right in the middle of what we call the employee quadrant. Well, nothing wrong with being an employee. I was merely exchanging time for money. And what I found was the higher I climbed, I was exchanging even more time and took on heavier responsibilities, of course, in exchange for more money. Now, what I realized was that, wow, if I was to withstand all future hurricanes, I must find a way to move myself from the employee quadrant, which is marked by the E there, to something called the business quadrant. Well, that was really my first big mind shift. I then studied what it takes to be a business owner. When I realized, in the books, it says that in the business quadrant, I would then have a business system and people that I can leverage to work for and together with me. Well, the idea sounded really good. I decided I must find a way to become a business owner. Now, what was interesting back then is I thought that as long as I was running some sort of business, I must be in the B quadrant then. So guess what? I decided that, what type of business was I going to do? For some of you who recognize me in that picture, well, that was really a long time back. Now, I fell back on one of my passion, which was really in the outdoors. Now, I was fortunate that I was given a chance, okay, to lead a prestigious outdoor adventures club for more than 10 years. Well, demand was really high for the activities that we were doing back then. And from there, I made the conclusion that surely there must be a demand if I were to come out and do this. Well, plus, it was a business that I could run during my free time, which includes Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how I started Love and Adventure. Well, I was all set up to lead treks in Singapore, in Malaysia, and of course, occasionally maybe to further countries too, right, during the longer holidays. Well, it certainly was a lonely one-man show, right? I had to take care of all the marketing, the prospecting, the sales, and then physically I had to lead these tracks myself because I couldn't afford, to hire leaders, right? Because the margin was not very high. Well, guess what? Reality hits me very quickly. Well, I found that the demand for what I had to offer was actually very limited. And then what more, I found that it was difficult to develop a scale for this type of business, and there was totally no leverage. Well, it was then that I learned that in the cash flow quadrant, I in fact was not in the business quadrant. I was in what they call a S quadrant, or what is known as a small business owner. Now, as a small business owner, just like many of people who are in the gig economy, trainers, yoga teachers, and so forth, I was also trading time for money. And although I believed back then that I owned the business, in the end, I realized that it was actually the business that owns me, as it was sucking up all the free time that I have, and I was not seeing the equivalent returns from it. Well, very quickly, I learned the pain points of being a small business owner. Well, no leverage. Well, no team to work with. And if the demand don't meet the forecast, as what you thought, then you are in trouble. And I was a one-man operation. I was like an octopus, trying to do everything. And it was very difficult to scale. And then guess what? I realized competition was creeping up. Well, the list goes on. Well, I also studied franchises back then because I thought, well, if it's a well-known brand, and so forth, maybe I could consider that. Well, I was amazed. Even a simple Yakun franchise, right, including setup costs, can easily set me back something like $250,000. And I will have to quit my job to run the franchise. And guess what? Even to set up a char kway teow store in a food court, well, you must be prepared to fork out something like 40 to 50,000 just to get started with all the renovations, the upfront rentals, and you better pray that you will be in the black from the first month onward so that you can pay the rental. Now, I was in a dilemma back then, right? Just when I was scratching my head, guess what? The law of attraction brought me a possible answer. Now, through my tracking activities for my small business, I actually got reconnected back with an old friend. Well, somebody whom I've known for 27 years but kind of lost touch. Well, his name is Alvin Yong. Now, one day, I saw Alvin posting his social project on Facebook. Well, it was certainly a life-changing initiative that provided financial education to the children of poor farmers in Thailand. Well, I really fell in love with the idea once I read about it. I gave him a call and I immediately organized a trek to raise money to support his project with donations. Now, I've always aspired to live the kind of life like Alvin, right? Traveling to third world countries to do good, changing the world for the better. Well, in fact, changing lives for the better. But guess what? I was pretty stuck in my job. I work in corporate. I never had enough vacation days. And as you take on heavier responsibilities, you have vacation days, but you couldn't even clear them. That is indeed a pain point for many of us in the corporate world. Well, so guess what? I was super curious. I was wondering to myself how Alvin was able to do all this. Well, spend so many months every year doing such projects all over the world, India, Thailand, And then I was aware that Alvin used to be a corporate professional in a quick growing startup during the .com era. Hence, I was very interested in his secret. So I decided to ask him out for a dinner. And it was a certainly life-changing evening for myself. Well, I learned from Alvin that evening how he built an Asia-wide network enterprise. And in fact, it was this enterprise that provided him with both the financial and time freedom. Now that night, it was certainly an aha moment for me. I saw the possibility for me to cross over finally to what is properly termed as a business quadrant. And of course, that's how I started my Avita journey with Alvin. And today, I am an Avita network leader and entrepreneur. Okay, I pride myself on leading professionals to channel their wealth of corporate experience on an entrepreneurial adventure of wealth, health, and wellness. And I climb new summits together with them. Now, just a couple of days ago, this very interesting article appeared in the Straits Times. Well, the writer who was working in the corporate was kind of wondering whether he should venture into entrepreneurship. Well, in fact, if you look at the statistics, during the last 2 years of the COVID period, more new businesses and startups were actually created compared to pre-COVID time. And I'm sure there are many reasons for that. But it also shows that, in fact, there are many out there who do have aspirations to become an entrepreneur. And many actually took the opportunity in the last 2 years to pursue their dreams. Now, in the article, the writer also pointed out the reality that many startups are facing. Well, ranging from long hours, well, to poor business, very stressful and long working hours. Yes, true, this is the reality facing many new entrepreneurs. In fact, statistics showed that failure rate for startups can be as high as 90%. In fact, statistics have shown that more than 20% of businesses failed within the first year. And by the 5th year, 1 in every 2 startups would have no longer existed. Yes, that is the true statistic of startups. It is also the reality that deters many corporate professionals from pursuing their dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Now, some of you who are still working successfully in corporate may ask, hey, what are some of my attributes that's important to any entrepreneur? Well, you must be very thankful for the years of corporate structure, training, and exposure. In fact, many corporate professionals have these plus points that would be very useful for them in their entrepreneurial journey. Now, see if you can identify with some of these values, right? You have them, congratulations, you are well prepared, to enter into a world of entrepreneurship. Now that you know you have these skill sets, the question comes, how do I choose a suitable business platform? And can you still run this business platform even while working? Right? I'm sure that question is on many people's mind. Of course, that was on my own mind too. Now, let's first look at the definition of what is an entrepreneur. Now, if you look at the definition, it merely means an individual who creates a new business for themselves, well, bearing most of the risk, hey, and enjoying most of the rewards. Well, it can sound pretty scary, especially if you have always been an employee for many years. So how then can you become an entrepreneur, and what type of business is suitable? Now, is it possible to actually do a business in this new normal with minimal financial risk? Ladies and gentlemen, after this evening sharing, I really wish for all of you to have sleepless night. Well, not because you have insomnia, okay, not because you have insomnia, but because of what I am going to share that's going to make you sleepless, wondering if what I share may also be applicable to you. And just like me, you may find yourself all excited in taking up this challenge to become an entrepreneur and business owner. So let me share how I first analyzed the Avita business platform. And I sincerely hope that these lessons can be useful to help you in your own evaluation process. Now, this is how I analyze the Avita business opportunity. In fact, you can use the same principles too for any other business opportunity. Now, this is where I really must be thankful to my own engineering and corporate experience, because they became really useful because they allow me to very systematically evaluate the opportunity. Now, let me share with you 3 key areas that I look at. Well, first is, of course, the product. Now, all good businesses must have a good product or a good service that you offer out. Now, from the lessons and from whatever I read, preferably this product must be a consumable. Well, that way it will generate repeat business through repeat purchases. Now, this product, it must also meet the needs of many people. It must fit a growing trend across the world. And of course, the product must be effective, safe, and of the highest quality. Now, especially if this is your first business, you must be assured that your integrity and reputation is not impacted by shoddy products. Now, second area that I studied very carefully was the business model. Now, I realized after doing a small little business thing, right? I wanted the business model to be able to provide me with leverage. I also wanted a business that I can scale up very quickly, and best if the business is borderless. Of course, who doesn't want to run an international business? Oh no, just like the international franchise or what, McDonald's, Jollibee. So those were some of the few things that I found was important to me if I wanted to do this as my own business. And of course, it must be meaningful and come with the appropriate rewards. Now, one final thing, I realized that after working so many years in corporate, I know the importance of company and culture. I wanted to know who are the leaders in the company. Well, I want to know the people who are we working with, who will be mentoring me. More important, I wanted to understand their value system and that I personally can identify with these values. Well, to me, ladies and gentlemen, all these are important elements to building a sustainable and meaningful business. Now, of course, let me now turn back the clock and share with you my little journey. Now, I still remember my first meridian therapy workshop. So when I was having a conversation with Elwin, I told him, I remember you were doing this meridian thing, what is it? He said, look, it's going to be a bit cumbersome for me to explain to you. Why don't you come attend a workshop for yourself? So voila, I turn up on a Saturday morning and attend a meridian therapy workshop. And wow, guess what? During the workshop, I was totally amazed at how a 5,000-year-old TCM preventive maintenance therapy can be designed to be so fun, so simple to learn, but yet so effective. And that's when I realized the secret. It was in the power of the Avita TCM herbal essential oils. Now, these oils were created by painstaking research by professors from renowned university in Taiwan. Well, think about it. It was like bottling up energy or chi inside the bottle, making it very easy to use and hence so powerful. And me being an engineer, guess what, right? The next day after the workshop, I was really excited to go try out my new skills. So I brought my oils to a potluck party. And at a potluck party, everybody brought food. I said I was going to bring a free massage for everyone. Okay. So I started doing shoulder gua sha for my friends. Wow, guess what? To my surprise, all my friends who were there at the party, including my Malay friends, they were all absolutely delighted after experiencing the gua sha. They all wanted to attend the workshops. And it was then that I smelled the potential of this set of TCM oils. Boom! That was really how my Avita business took off, really starting with these TCM herbal oils. Now, with these oils, I just don't see energy in a bottle. What I saw was a whole new TCM blue ocean out there waiting for me to conquer. Now, after the workshop, I was very impressed with what I experienced in it. I aspired to have a team of my own, just like Elwin. In fact, I wanted to bring these meridian therapy skills and more important, these oils all over the world. And I'm proud to say that today my team has grown from Singapore into Malaysia, Australia, Cambodia, and these oils are helping many people in these countries, including in Malaysia, Hong Kong, Canada, and even USA to have good health. Now, at the same time, what is more meaningful to me was it also helped many of my partners in these countries to build up a business for themselves and creating their own wealth and financial freedom. Now, I was even more excited when Elwin first introduced me to the star product of Avita. Now, this is Saligen from Switzerland. Now, I work in a high-tech industry. Okay, I deal with cutting-edge technology. Okay, and I've always been fascinated with technology. And what I saw, was not just a box from Switzerland. What I saw was a world-class cellular regeneration Swiss technology. And the more when I researched into it and read about it, the more I was excited. Now, it was a technology that was able to help people slow down aging. It was a technology that can prevent many degenerative illness. And since the launch of Saligen in Singapore in 2009, thousands and thousands of people around the world have benefited. Well, celebrities love its anti-aging effect. Well, the elderly love the youth-enhancing effect of vitality. And sportsmen too have benefited from quicker recovery of injury and improvement in their performance. Now, Saligen is for everyone and anyone who cares to slow down their aging, prevent degenerative disease, and live a quality life to the fullest. Now, what I saw then was that, wow, if this does work, wow, surely the market potential is astronomical, especially given today's fast aging population. Well, it was $1 billion global market. So just like any engineer who's conducting experiment, I decided that I was going to put Saligen to the test. Well, not just on myself, well, on my family, and in particular, I was curious to see what it would do to my 80-year-old mom who actually lived on her own in Ipoh back in Malaysia. Now, meet my mom. Okay, this is my mom. My mom, her name is Karen. Well, this is me together with her on a trip, on a Avita trip to Japan. Okay, now my siblings and I actually saw that she had actually grown younger over the last 5 years after starting herself on Saligen. Now, she has better vitality, she has better energy to enjoy all the things that she loves doing. Now, at the age of 82, she was still playing mahjong, she was doing a Tai Chi, and guess what? She's still driving her own car and she loves traveling. And during COVID especially, I am assured that she is well protected. I'm so grateful to Saligen for keeping my 84-year-old mom healthy and happy. In fact, to me, the greatest satisfaction is able to provide her the quality of life for the rest of her life. In fact, I share with all my friends, Saligen is a priceless gift that all of us children should give to our aging parents. Now, meet my good friend, Jermaine. Now, Jermaine is a TCM physician. Now, her late mom at 92 years of age then was suffering from many degenerative illness. Then, Jermaine decided to give Saligen to her mom. Well, it certainly gave her mom much better quality of life all the way till her passing, late about 2 years ago. And I'm very grateful today to have Jermaine as one of my business partners. In fact, she is one of the few TCM physicians who practice integrative preventive care. Well, she combines the best of the East together with the West. And Jermaine is now leveraging on the Avita business platform to bring TCM preventive care to the whole world. And it was through Jermaine I was introduced to this lady called Daphne. And because of Daphne, that my network expanded into Cambodia. Now, Daphne is a good friend and ex-colleague of Jermaine for more than 15 years. She runs her own traditional business in Cambodia, well, for more than 12 years now. And her daughter, Nicole, was suffering from chronic insomnia and anxiety. And back then, Jermaine was very concerned, and she decided to put together a solution to help Nicole. Now, with the use of Avita herbal essential oils, and then Saligen and NGF, well, Nicole resolved her insomnia issues and was back to her old bubbly self. Well, it was then that Daphne sensed the potential of this business, right? Now, let me share with you, how we went all the way from Singapore to Cambodia. Now, being an entrepreneur herself, Daphne seized the opportunity and brought it to Cambodia. Now, this is when I truly learned about the power of the network marketing business model. See, I myself, I do not know anyone in Cambodia. In fact, even though I have a network in Cambodia, I have not even visited Cambodia yet. But thanks to this business model, I was able to expand into this wonderful, beautiful country. Now, if you recall earlier, well, Jermaine was the TCM physician. She knew Daphne. And then when they reconnected again, Daphne introduced the oils to her, helped her with her daughter's health issues. And that's when Daphne sensed that, there was business potential. And voila, she joined us and became our business partner. So this is how, the business moves from one country to another country. Now, together, we have brought Meridian 101 and the TCM oils into Cambodia. And from there, we actually plan to expand to the rest of Indochina. Now, we also brought in Selagen and other Avita products to bring good health to the people of Cambodia. In fact, this is a picture of Jermaine and Daphne pre-COVID days. In 2019, both of them conducted the first ever Meridian 101 workshop in Cambodia. Super proud of them. Now, we had a group of very enthusiastic mix of locals and expatriates. Well, many of them have now joined us as partners to become their own entrepreneurs in this wellness business and journey. Well, I just love my Cambodian team, seeing how committed and dedicated they are in learning and applying what they learn. In fact, when I look at this, I'm so motivated in supporting them, in whatever way I can. And I'm committed to work with my team and partners in Cambodia and let the Avita create a better life and a better world for all of them. Now, let me introduce you to Florabelle. Now, Florabelle works in Cambodia and is a friend of Daphne. Florabelle, in fact, attended the Meridian workshops that she was conducting in Cambodia. And she went back to the Philippines, and because of that, our network business spread into the Philippines. And guess what? In Philippines, Florabelle, with her knowledge of TCM, helped many people, including this cute teenage lady named Eva. Florabelle shared with her how to use Forsythia, a TCM oil, to resolve her acne issues. She was very happy. Now, Florabelle also taught a lot of her family and friends around her to do meridian therapy, and this is Francesca. Now, Francesca, during the lockdown in Philippines about 2 years ago, had a very high fever and a very painful stomach. And back then, it was very challenging to visit a doctor because the whole place was in lockdown. And then the mother decided to consult with Florabelle and then, use Avita oils, apply a mix of it on the chest, her stomach, and the back. And after an hour, her temperature reduced, as she was relieved. And subsequently, her stomach pain also subsided. And since then, whenever she feels uncomfortable, she would always ask for the oils to be applied on her. Now, these stories really highlight you don't know how the business can just travel across the border so seamlessly. Even with Florabelle back then in the Philippines, she can still put her skills and knowledge to good use and attract like-minded partners to work with her. Now, let me also share with you how my business went down under. Now, we were organizing a lot of activities in Singapore, including for companies, organizations, and clubs. And I was conducting a meridian therapy workshop, for a social club in Singapore. And one of the participants back then was named Eileen. Now, Eileen loved the workshop very much, but she also saw the business potential of the wellness business. And guess what? Eileen had a cousin in Sydney named James. He was a Singaporean who actually migrated to Sydney many years ago. And through Eileen, I actually get to know James. That's James, in Australia. Now, after James heard about the business model and the untapped potential of the Australian market, he decided to join me for the business. Now, distance was not an issue, as technology had made it possible for us to conduct our business even online. Now, we are very proud that James had now replicated the business model, and is doing the same thing over in Sydney. So over time, we will grow the business with more like-minded partners from Sydney. And I'm sure we will from there grow into the rest of Australia. Now, unlike a conventional business, we expand our Avita business through our network and word of mouth marketing. Well, we promote through social media and we connect from one friend to another, to another, to another, and we are not limited by physical borders. We can build a never-ending global business network. Now, moreover, we do not pay any rental. We do not pay any salary. The company supports us with administrative support, logistics, and accounting. Now, for somebody looking to be an entrepreneur, this is a very powerful business model that can get you started with very minimal financial investment, but yet offering you unlimited potential in growth. Now, besides Celagen and the TCM oils, Avita have an amazing range of very unique and special products that can help improve the health of many people. Well, just some of them includes NGF or natural growth factor, which targets the health of our brain cells or neurons, you call them. We have matrix cell, which is designed to help women in the prevention of breast cancer. Well, we have a live biotics, a very powerful probiotics with a patented K21 bacteria designed to improve our gut health as well as the liver health. And of course, our latest products from Switzerland, Salava, which helps the body to remove visceral fats and improve the heart health. Now, all these products target a very big growing market throughout the whole world. Well, to be more exact, the global wellness market that Avita products are suitable for roughly about $4.5 trillion. Now, isn't that amazing, right? I mean, if you want to start a business, you want a business that has big potential. Now, some of you may be wondering, so how did Celagen fare in these challenging times the last 2 years? Well, in fact, the last 2 years was actually a very busy time for us. And it is because Celagen has the ability to help the body to strengthen the immune system. And we all know that the one true defense against the virus and whatever variants, be Omicron, Delta, or whatever it may be, as it mutates, is really a very strong body defense. In fact, from the Philippines, okay, where many doctors has adopted the use of it, these are just some of the individuals who had contracted COVID and Celagen that helped them to recover very fast and minimize the effects. So ranging from US to Indonesia to Philippines, these are just individuals who have benefited from it. Now, what I love was that Avita is a Singapore company. Now, many of you may not realize, but as an entrepreneur, as I enter into third world countries, I realized that the word Singapore itself is a premium brand. Now, Singapore companies have a reputation for trustworthiness and high integrity. And this had really been helpful in opening doors when, myself and my partners expanded our Avita business across Asia and the rest of the world. Now, of course, being the ever inquisitive engineer, I was very curious as to who was the visionary person behind Avita. Now, meet Miss Lee Xiang Ying. Well, we all fondly call her Miss Lee. Now, she really inspired me with this very meaningful motto: for a better life, for a better world. That two lines itself tells me a lot of what matters to her and the real reason and the purpose behind Avita. But of course, nothing beats personal and up-close experience. So, in 2017, I brought my mom on an Avita incentive trip to Taiwan. And what I realized was throughout the trip, Miss Lee always took time to drop by and have a word with my mom and ask after her welfare. It was really a very motherly love that, that's how Miss Lee took the extra care to ensure that, not only was my mom comfortable, but everyone else on the trip were well looked after. In fact, when we go on a holiday, it was like a whole big family going on a holiday. And that touched me greatly and it remained in my mind right until today. Now, it is because I always believe a leader who cares is a leader we can count on through thick and thin times, whether good times or bad times. And of course, having Miss Lee at the helm of Avita, well, I'm confident that this is the place where I will make my million. And moreover, Avita is family to me. Now, I love traveling. I love to have an international family in my network, and Avita certainly gives me that chance. Now, with 9 countries that we are in and still growing, with over 700 million market size. Now, this was certainly my opportunity to grow my global Avita network franchise. And I realized all I have to do is to connect friends, share this amazing opportunity, and then support them to succeed in this business. Just like how Alvin and many of my senior associates here had supported me. Now, let me share with you how I got started in 2016, where I'm now, and where I'm heading to. Now, in the Avita Global franchise, there are only 7 ranks in the business. The first 3 ranks are what we call this VIP rank, Silver Associate, and the Gold Associate rank. Now, promotion from VIP to Gold is automatic. It is purely based on accumulated purchases. What is more important is the next 4 ranks. These are what we call the Business Builder rank. Now, these are the Platinum Director, Diamond President, Pearl Ambassador, and finally the Crown Ambassador. Now, all these 4 ranks are entitled to share in 1% of global sales. So that is why they are like unnamed shareholders of the company. Now, what was even more exciting for me, from somebody who works in corporate, what I saw was this. I could immediately relate the Platinum Director rank to that of a CEO of your own company. Well, with your own team of partners. And as your network grows larger, liken it, the Diamond is like that of a country CEO. And while the Pearl Ambassador rank is like that of a regional CEO. And finally, the Crown Ambassador is like that of a global CEO. Now, I waste no time to build up my Avita network business because I started rather late in my entrepreneurship journey. So I invested in the Gold Associate Business Startup rank. Now, while holding down a full-time job, I work my Avita business with a full-time mentality, and that is important. Okay, I got promoted to become a Platinum Director and achieve my first baby step to be a CEO of my own network. Right now, this in turn will pave my way towards my goal to challenge for Diamond President, in 2023. Okay, I'm preparing myself that by the end of this year, I will be in the position to challenge for my diamondship. Now, so for those of you who are ready to embrace change, those of you who want to thrive in the new normal, and for those of you who now dream to be a CEO of your own global network, I really invite you to get started today with us as a GA. Now, what is more important when I studied the whole formulation in Avita was their key to building a successful Avita business. I was really impressed with their Avita education system. Now, not only does it cover individual competency, knowledge, and skills, it also covers a wide range ranging from team effectiveness, communication, leadership skill, and I personally have been transformed. Now, I also witnessed many of my team members undergone what I call metamorphosis, from being a very shy caterpillar to now a confident, colorful butterfly. From what they used to say, cannot, now they become do to can do. Okay, and that's the spirit I really admire in many of my partners today. Right now, more important to me, personally, I see Avita as much more than just a global business that will make me millions. What I cherish in Avita is really surrounding me with many like-minded, positive, and can-do entrepreneurs who encourage each other on and lift each other to greater heights. In fact, I always call Avita my second family, a family that works hard together, a family that have fun together. We champion meaningful social projects together. We come together to co-create a better life and a better world. So to me, Avita is really family. Now, at this juncture in time, what I like to do is, I would like to invite all of you to little breakout rooms. We'll spend about 15 to 20 minutes in the breakout room. And, feel free to meet our leaders. And 2 questions for you to kind of ponder over, right? Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Is there a burning desire inside you right now to want to become an entrepreneur? And are you ready to fly with us in Avita? Okay. So, spend the next 15, 20 minutes to meet the Avita family. By all means, ask as much questions as you want to. So, Elvin, are we ready for the breakout room?
Yes, all be transported there now.
You don't have to do it. Well, I think everybody is back on the room. Okay, I know there's always never enough time, but maybe a time for.
Can't hear you.
Oh, cannot hear me. Okay.
Can hear.
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have time for maybe 1 or 2 sharing. Yeah, does anybody have good sharings from their rooms that people would like want to share their aha moment from today's talk? I think it will benefit a lot of people. What about Faustina? Okay, I know you're new. Let me kind of put you on the spot. Maybe some quick takeaways from you this evening on what did you take away. Hi, Faustina.
Hi, Kid. Hi, everybody. A quick takeaway. I think Kid's video from the start, the bridge that I don't know how to pronounce, actually, struck something into me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because it is about change. So if your change, you cannot adapt to the change, then you are really obsolete.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good,
so
good.
that's really my takeaway.
Wow. Okay. Okay. What about the well done? That's called Choluteca Bridge, by the way.
I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Okay. What about the other rooms? Anybody has good sharing?
That all the way from New Jersey. Yeah, it's early morning for her.
Wow. Okay. You want to share your own takeaway? Who is that, Siuli?
But that.
Oh, Badetta. Oh, Badetta from New Jersey.
From Jersey.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, good morning, everyone.
Hi, yeah.
So yeah, I've been a nurse for 22 years. I work as a nurse in the Philippines, in United Kingdom, and in America. And I told the group that I've been ruled by time. You know what I mean? So there's a time for me to do this, do that, even the time to go to the bathroom, the time to eat. But now with yes, it's true. And then now with finding this Avita system, I gained this financial freedom. I enjoyed seeing friends while talking about the business. So I have the social interaction plus the business interaction, which makes me I like this one. And in another way, yes, I'm also helping them with their health and wellness, and of course, building a business. So thank you so much for this good company with a premium quality product and a premium quality persons. You know what I mean? Like business sounded minded, successful people. Thank you.
For that, I'm really I'm really thankful to have you with us. I think we will all gain so much by just having you together with us too. Okay, great sharing for that. Okay, now let me just finish up my slides. Okay, can everybody see my slide? Okay, now. So I'm going to end with this thing from one of my favorite mentor. Okay, if everybody can recognize who that is. That's really my parting shot this evening. Okay, and this advice from my good friend Richard.
My idol.
He says, opportunity favors the bold. Okay, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, well, say yes first, then learn how to do it later. Now, when Elwin offered me the Avita opportunity in 2016, well, I said yes. I learned, I built, and I achieved my platinum directorship in 2017. And in fact, I would say, my yes has actually set me on the path to be the next Richard Branson. Well, today, your friend who had cared about you had invited you here to evaluate the Avita business opportunity. So, are you saying yes? Well, good night, everybody. Okay, I want to hand it back to my lovely host, Lok Huang.
Thank you, Kit, all right, for your sharing, all right, especially your rich experiences in a corporate world and your thoughts about corporate job versus network marketing. Is it a no-brainer? This is something, all right, that I have to once again, all right, ask myself. My answer to that is, well, I was offered this amazing opportunity also, all right, by my good friend, and I didn't know anything about network marketing. I just simply say yes because, all right, I could see the potential, grab, and then ask questions later on. So like what Kit said, all right, the fact that you're here means, all right, that your friend who invited you cares a lot about you and wants to share this amazing opportunity, all right, with you. As all right, spoken to, all right, by Kit, and that is, are you ready, all right, to say yes? And we are offering you, all right, an opportunity, the event that is coming out next week, and that is called the Entrepreneurial Leaped Seminar. Now, this is a seminar in which we have created an opportunity for you to understand in detail the business platform, or called Avita, and we also are giving you the opportunity to clarify any doubts that you may have about network marketing and its model, and compare it between our other business platforms, and also consider, all right, what the speakers have been talking about, their own personal experience with the Avita platform. Okay, who are these speakers who are going to talk about how to become, all right, an Avita entrepreneur? Well, it's an all guys team, and all of them, all right, are engineers. Are you excited to come and find out what make, all right, this team of engineers turned entrepreneurs? So don't miss this opportunity. It is happening next Saturday, 23rd of April. And how do you sign up for the event? Well, approach a friend who has invited you to the talk this evening for more information. And with that, I'm also going to say good night. But before we say good night, can I request that all of you, all right, switch on your video, all right, so that we can take a grouped photograph. And I would also like you, or to switch on the love emoji to thank our speaker for talking about, or for sharing with us his wonderful experiences, not only in the corporate world, but also in the network marketing world. Thank you, Kit. Okay, are we ready, all right, to take a photograph? Alvin?
Okay, I'll take one more. I think a few more people have not turned on the video. Come on. All right. I count to, oh, I like Faustina's laugh. Everybody laugh. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Good
very
night,
much.
everybody.
Good night. Good night. I hope you enjoyed, all right, the talk tonight. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Kit. Thank you, Lok. Good night.
Yeah, big thanks to Kit and Lok.
Thank
you.
You. Bye-bye.
Have a good holiday tomorrow.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Good Friday.